As you've noticed, once I'm on one concept in Hal Leonard, I like to continue to move around the book, gathering up different songs that apply to that concept. Right now we're going to move to Midnight Special on page 19 of book 2 to utilize the second position that they just introduced to us. I find this song a little bit better than the ones they offer to us, even though they haven't intended this for a second position song. I'm going to overlap a few of the concepts we've talked about. Hopefully it won't be too terribly confusing to you. The first thing is the introduction of second position. If we took first position, the open position in the key of C, we'd have open first third, E, F, G, open second third, A, B, C, open second third, D, E, F, and so on. If I want to move up into the key of D, I'll move 2 frets higher than C. So everything I just did, I'll move up 2 frets. O, 1, 3 would become 2, 3, 5. O, 2, 3 would become 2, 4, 5. So I would have the same idea that I had in C, now transferred up 2 frets into the key of D. You notice it doesn't sound like D major. Because this position is starting on F sharp, it sounds like an F sharp scale. An F sharp Phrygian, for instance. But F sharp Phrygian is the third mode in the key of D. So I'm going to use the F sharp Phrygian shape, emphasize that it's a shape. I'm not in F sharp Phrygian, but I'm using the shape derived from that scale to play in D major. When I play those same notes but start and end on D, I get Do, Re, Mi for D. You've seen all of this back in the key of C. What I want to emphasize all the time here though is I love to talk about this shape as the F sharp Phrygian. It does not mean I'm in the key of F sharp Phrygian or the mode of F sharp Phrygian. I'm still in D Ionian, but I'm using that shape. In fact, I'm going to have to push this concept one step further. The song isn't actually in D either, it's in A. When you look at the key signature, they tell us we have F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. I'm going to continue to use that shape though because there are no G's to worry about, whether G or G sharp. So I can use this inventory of notes to play in this song in the key of A. What I'm going to tell you is it's A Mixolydian. It's bluesy, and Mixolydian is a bluesy scale. So I'm going to say that G's are natural, as they would be found in D Ionian. This actually expands our modal concept a little bit. If I play in an A bluesy song, which is derived from the key of D, then I am actually playing A Mixolydian. Relative to A, that G natural is a flat 7. So it's an A major scale with a flat 7, the G natural, which makes it an A bluesy sound. Instead of A with G sharps, kind of a jazzy or a lush 70s sound. Here it is with a different form. This would have a G natural, a bluesier sound. In fact, what they're actually doing is they've got it trimmed down so much that they're actually playing A pentatonic major. There are no G sharps or Ds. The song is going to focus around these 2nd frets and 4th frets. A and B, C sharp, B, A, F sharp, and E. This actually re-emphasizes the second position to you, because if you went through the older lessons with me, we saw so much G major pentatonic back in the first book. Will the circle be unbroken? O2, O2, O, that was all G major pentatonic. Amazing Grace, D, G, B, G, B, A, G, E, D. Again, opens and 2s. So now we've moved opens and 2s up to 2s and 4s. G major pentatonic to A major pentatonic. But I'm going to still continue to say I'd like to think of this Phrygian second position shape because that's what we just learned and that's how we can fill out this area. If you think of pentatonic major, if you think of Mixolydian, or you think of this shape, it's all going to serve the same purpose. In the song itself then, this key signature tells us we're in A, but we're not doing the G sharps. Later on, we're actually going to put G naturals in our songs and physically, technically be in the A Mixolydian. We start on an A chord, C sharps, C sharp, C sharp, C sharp, B. Because I want to play in second position, don't use your middle finger on C sharp, use your pointer, because we've relocated to second position. I don't want to use the opens, I want to utilize second position. So B is not open second string, but 4th fret on the 3rd string. A, F sharp, 4th fret of the 4th string, back up to the B, 4th fret 3rd string. So there you see 2s and 4s. Dotted quarter note, that's a beat and a half, which we found a lot, especially as we learned syncopation in this book. That's 8 eighth notes, 1 and 2. The remaining and is this A note on the 8th note, tied to 3 and 4. Rest on 1, do a similar 8th note and quarter note pattern. 8th note to start this bar, so beat 1 is an F sharp, the and is this E. There's a little bit of syncopation for you. 1 and 2, 3, 4. That 8th note is tied to a dotted half note, giving you the rest of the beats 2, 3, and 4. Here we see the same rhythm near the end of the bar. I might as well work all the way through it once. So we've got C sharps, F sharp to B, a beat and a half. That A note is on the and of 1, tied to beats 2, 3, and 4. Rest on beat 1, B to A, 4 to 2 again. 4 to 2 on the next string, F sharp to E, that's 1 and 2, 3, 4. Rest on 1 again, E now where we just landed. F sharps, 4th fret, all the way up to C sharp. That's a 6 on that E chord. Which is the boogie strum concept that they're actually using in this song. The next bar has B to A to C sharp to B. Rest, 4, 2, 2, 4, 2 to land on this A of an A chord. Then these C sharps again, just like the beginning. As I mentioned, the C sharp on E was a 6. This B on D is a 6. Again, it's part of the boogie strum. As the book is now actually teaching us the boogie strum, but I'm going to ignore it for now, that's where the concept is getting so heavily pushed into this song in its melody. Here are the B's again on the D chord. The 6 of A is F sharp. So it's the same F sharp coming from the boogie strum, the A5 to A6 theme on what they call the shuffle riff. Here we're resting on beat 1 again, but only an 8th rest. So only half of the beat is a rest, beat 1. The and is the E. So you come in on that syncopated idea that we learned in the other songs. 1 and F sharp is on 2. On the E it's the C sharp again. Rest on beat 1. I've added a bar here to reflect the recorded versions. That A whole note that I've shown at the end of the line there, in Hal Leonard that's only a quarter note and they move immediately to these 8s, but I'm going to hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Now we start jumping into the chorus. C sharps on the A. Here on beat 3 we have an 8th note, so it only gets half the beat 3. On the and we attack this A, it's a dotted quarter if you can see the dot, and 4 and. Then we land on this B, a dotted quarter note on 1, 1 and 2 and, the A, this 8th note tied to a half note, so it's and 3, 4, rest on 1, then B's and A's again, 2 and 3 and 4, tied to a quarter note on 4, down to the F sharp on A again, as we've seen earlier, that's the 6 of the chord, 1 and 2, 3, 4, rest, more E's. Same rhythm that we saw here. We play an 8th note on 3. On the and we attack this E, which is a dotted quarter, and we get and 4 and, your 3 8th notes. Next bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One of our shorter ties there. Quarter note dotted for 1 and 2, the 8th note on and 3, and then we play the next leg 4 and wrap up the tune. play it for you, I may anticipate that last A. So the concept they're teaching is they're using this song to play power chords, the O and 2 of an A chord, 5th string, 4th string, with this boogie strum. I'm not going to go through that with you right now. We did that on Keep Your Hands to Yourself, so if you're interested in it, you can go back and look at it there. But that's how they're playing this. I'm just going to do regular strums in open position. So I'll play through the chords a couple of times and then try to meld the melody and the chords. So if you've been practicing, you should be able to play the melody along with these chords. Hopefully I won't go too fast, as I've always said. I'll try to go about that speed and I'll try to stick to it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... I'm going to see if I can do a reasonable job of putting in a melody there for you as I try to play some facsimile of the chords as well. When you hear this, you can play the melody along with me. Hopefully I'm going to phrase about the same as the book, or you can play chords. Either way. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. See y'all later. Have a good day.